Trey and Baylor both talked about the lack of connectivity defensively against Villanova and not being as willing to help each other on that end of the floor as you probably needed to be. What stood out to you in that specific regard?
I mean, first of all, Dixon made it extremely difficult on some of their post-ups where they positioned him, sometimes in the corner, sometimes on the top, sometimes they'd wrap into Kalkbrenner, make it really tough to get back to him. I thought there were some opportunities to stunt and maybe help that we didn't take advantage of, that we have to be better at, but at the same time, you got to give Villanova a lot of credit. They played extremely well.
Yeah, on a similar note, obviously, I don't even think you guys expected Dixon to torch the way he did that night, with him being 1 for 6 the first time you guys played out there. Just moving forward, how many guys do you expect to, stretch the floor like that against you guys? And I guess how do you prepare for?
I think it just depends on who you're playing. He'd only made 5 threes in his last 14 games, and actually I kind of felt in their last game he turned some down where he was open, and it appeared he was a little bit hesitant to shoot it. We went with the same defensive plan as we did the first time. That was successful against him, and we really did a good job on their other guys. We did a good job on Moore, did a great job on Daniels. Whitmore got loose for a couple late, but I thought we defended the rest of the team. He was just the difference, and sometimes that's going to happen.
With Baylor going to senior day stuff tomorrow, not knowing his future.
So as this happened,
You've learned, it's impressed you. You've gotten to know him more this year.
Yeah, everything's impressed me. He's a student of the game. He loves the game. He's got a great feel for the game. It's not easy to come in for 1 year and kind of fit into a team wherever all the other pieces returned. And I thought he went above and beyond in trying to make sure that he fit in, especially early, maybe to the point where I thought he was turning some things down that he probably should have taken a shot, but he made the extra pass. But that's kind of the way he plays the game. If his teammate's open, he's going to make that extra pass. And, he's been a very important part of our success.
What are those conversations like with some of those guys who could decide to be honored? It's obviously gotten a little different.
Yeah, it's different now, especially with the COVID years and all that. There's really 4 guys that are in their 4th year of school, and that's kind of what I go by. Farabello, Reef, and Baylor. And I asked all 3 of them, whether they wanted to or not. And Baylor was the one that, I'm still on the fence enough, but I think I'm going to do it. Reef and Bello, their intentions are to come back. So, it's different than it used to be where, guys graduate, you don't have all this transferring, so guys kind of graduate on time. But it is what it is, and hopefully our fans will stay in their seats. We're also honoring, Jack and Drew, a couple senior managers, along with Baylor tomorrow night.
How do you kind of shift focus after coming up short? One of your goals for the season of a regular season title, and just with how emotionally charged last week was.
Yeah, there's a couple tough games there in a row. The game at Providence is really, I think, took a lot out of us. We really, I thought, played a heck of a game in a very difficult environment against a very good team. We came up a little short, and the game from Marquette, with Marquette, obviously, was pretty emotionally charged as well, and the building in Philadelphia was rocking on Saturday. So just that time of year, and the reality of it now is it's March. It's we've got a lot of fish to fry yet here in March, so we've got to get some mojo back, and hopefully our home crowd can help us do that tomorrow night.
And speaking of mojo, getting your mojo back, obviously you're favored in these next 2 games. What do you stand to gain in terms of maybe getting your momentum back and whatnot?
Well, it's wins. That's how you get momentum back. Close losses don't do you any good, and hopefully we shoot it a little bit better. We haven't shot it great the last few games, and especially against Villanova, I thought the quality of shots were really good. Had some really good looks from the 3-point line, and just didn't make them. And hopefully, we can flip that this week.
One more this time of the year, in between what the games are going to be, what's important about the day-to-day in between that you look for in terms of sharpness of focus?
Just, yesterday I thought we had a little more teeth to what we were doing. It gets monotonous this time of the year. You're the second time through every team, and guys kind of remember the prep. And, we may tweak a couple things, and when we go back and look at the game film, things we maybe needed to do a little differently or do a little bit better. But it's a little bit of a grind for the guys, and I thought yesterday's energy and enthusiasm in practice was as good as it's been in quite some time. So I think they see the light at the end of the tunnel, like, hey, this is almost over from a regular season standpoint, and then it's time to get ready for what comes next.
We're disappointed at how it ended up, but, we're looking forward to the future and, finishing out these last couple regular season game strong, and looking forward to getting momentum going into the Big East tournament and postseason play.
I know you guys are favored in these next two games, but after these last losses, what are you hoping to gain out of this upcoming week?
Yeah, we're favored, but it doesn't really mean too much. We got to come out and play with a lot of energy and play with a lot of connectiveness. I think we've been struggling in that department the last couple games, and so looking forward to getting back to our roots and what we do.
Yeah. Is there maybe, do you feel a sense of urgency lacking, or what did you feel was missing in those?
I wouldn't necessarily sense of urgency. We just kind of came out, especially Villanova came out just a little slow. They kind of punched us in the mouth, and we just weren't able to respond. But like I said, we're looking forward to these next two games.
How's your
Lightning quick.
After
what's February?
my confidence is the same as it's been all season, to be honest. I mean, obviously, these last three, 4 games, I haven't been shooting it great, but I trust my preparation, my work, and so I'm gonna keep playing the same way I always do, and my confidence is still where it's always been.
What's the preparation get altered at all?
In the corner, Johnny. Don't make up your own shit. Backstreet over here.
No. It's still the same every single time. The work continues. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems. So you just got to continue to put in the work.
That's our bad.
It's all good.
Anything, I don't know if you rewatched Villanova or rethought about Villanova, or anything stick out to you in your mind as you tried to process back why that wasn't really it?
Yeah, well, I just think we weren't very connected, especially on the defensive end. We're a team that's built on helping each other, and there just wasn't a lot of helping each other out there, being in the gaps, stunting for one another. So we just got to get back to that, and we had a good practice yesterday, and so looking to continue that today.
On a similar note, I feel like as much as you guys were on Calvert, he was in a tough spot off the end, just having to kind of be in that in between, to help you guys when the perimeter's getting breached. Just how do you try to make it easier on
Yeah. Well, we have to. The other 4 guys, when he's in a tough matchup like that, we have to be locked in, and we can't be making mistakes. We have to help him out, and a lot of times it's him helping us. But in those situations, we have to help him out by just being perfect and not maybe allowing guys to go outside where he has to come out and help, or getting over the ball screen quicker. So little things like that will help him out for sure.
And obviously Dixon didn't shoot the same way in the first match.
Yep.
But the way he shot on Saturday, did it show not flaws, but did it shed light on anything you guys got to patch up moving forward?
No, I think just the way we play. We're a little susceptible to the pick and pop 5 based on how we play. There's not a lot of those that we've played against this year, obviously, and so the majority of the time we're perfectly fine. So I don't necessarily think we're going to freak out about it, but there's definitely things to think about. Yeah, I still haven't made any decision or whatnot. It's kind of just going through the process just in case. It is my last game, but there's been no decisions made. But it's definitely going to be a fun time to be honored like that. So for sure.
As you reflect on your 1 year Power 6 basketball here at Creighton, I guess what's your biggest takeaway from that?
Yeah, I just the relationships I built here. That's probably my biggest takeaway. Just my teammates, my coaches. Just the fans. Have been fantastic, and that's probably my biggest takeaway from this year was just been the relationships I've been able to build here, and I'm very thankful for it.
You're a cook. Yes, you're a cook.
No, you're good.
Just to follow up on after the game, are you weighing the option that you have to return to college basketball?
Yeah, as of now, there's been no official decision, on what I'm going to do. I'm still taking it, at a day at a time, and I think that's going to continue to be the case. So, I have not made any decision.
UCLA.
As far as staying present, you guys are. Everybody's kind of running out of time right now.
Yep.
You're getting really close to surviving advance mode.
Yes, sir.
As the mentality, energy, do you feel any different? Do you feel like it's March Madness time?
Yeah, you can definitely sense that coming up. There's a lot of mid-major, small major teams are starting to have their conference tournaments and survive in advance, and so you kind of feel it in the air. And it's an exciting time, and it definitely kind of rejuvenates you a little bit. Obviously it's a long season, but having that sense that it's here definitely gives you a little extra push.
see that effect? You mentioned rejuvenation. I know it's not necessarily real.
Yeah.
But, like, you go through a season and some days hurt worse than others.
Yep.
But is it easier to put that stuff on the back burner when you realize now's the time that you guys kind of
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, this is why we do everything we do in the preseason. Starting in June and July, it's for this moment here. And so, knowing that, it kind of just has that excitement in the air and gets you, like I said, really excited and thrilled for the opportunity at hand.
Man, I see with the headband today.
Yeah.
So when you decide when
Just a feeling, man. It was on my practice loop today. I was like, hey, I'll put it on. You know what I'm saying? I haven't worn it in a week or so. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow if it comes on or not. It'll be a game time decision.
Yeah. You might have to retire this one.
No, I know this one's old. This one won't be coming on. This is just practice only. So, but yeah.
How long had it been since you had played a game without a headband?
My freshman year. So yeah, I didn't wear it my freshman year, but then I wore it every game sophomore year, junior year, and then these last 2 games were the first time since. So
Did your head feel lighter?
yeah, I mean kinda. I got a fresh fade. You knew I got a fresh fade, so I kind of wanted to show it off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's all fun.
You said you're not superstitious. Is it funny to you how much people notice?
Yes, it's hilarious. The first game I took it off at St. John's, I took it off for the last minute of the game, and people acted like I had it off the whole game. It was unreal, but it's funny, and it's I roll with it. It's a lot of fun, so I don't take it too hardly.
It's kind of coming up short of the regular season title.
Yeah. I mean, we're still very hungry. I feel like we're trying to get back into the W column. That's the biggest thing for us. Trying to take these last 2 games that we can get, and then take it into March, going into the Big East tournament. So that's really our biggest thing right now is trying to get our momentum back into the Big East tournament.
There haven't been many performances this year where it hasn't been on either end of the floor like it was against Villanova.
Yeah.
How frustrating was that? What did you assess from that as you thought about that?
Yeah, that was obviously one of our more disappointing games throughout the season. I felt like games that we didn't play good on offense, we played good on defense. Games we didn't play good on defense, we usually play good on offense. So, I mean, like you said, it was just one of those games where we couldn't get it going on either end of the court, and it's very rare. But I mean, it's one of those games that you have as a team. So we're just trying to, like I said, get back into the W column. That's our biggest thing.
And the trade, obviously you had the chance. You guys had multiple chances, but that shot at the end of Marquette.
Yeah.
What was going through your head at that time? And just, has that maybe lit a fire under you since?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody that watched the game knows that was a shot that I can take and make. I feel like if the opportunity presents itself again, I'm going to take it again. And I mean, I thought it went in, but I mean, of course, everybody has a lot of frustration towards that. But I mean, short-term memory is kind of what we have to have going into these next 2 games. I feel like we kind of let that loss against Marquette kind of derail us in terms of getting back into the swing of things. So, I mean, it kind of hurt us a little bit in terms of us going into Villanova without as much energy and effort as I feel like we could have played with. But, I mean, we just, like I said, we have to have short-term memory going into these next 2 games because I feel like we can't lose these next 2.
Yeah, you mentioned getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, your favorite in these next 2 games.
Yeah.
What do you stand to maybe learn or gain from the next 2?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I feel like there's a lot of games we've been favored in that we've lost this year, so we can't really take that in the terms of us that's just going to put us in the W column. I feel like this team, we're good enough to beat anybody in the country, but I feel like if we don't come to play, we can lose to anybody. So I feel like we can't take any day off, especially towards the end of this month and going into the beginning of March. So, I mean, if we want to still accomplish the things we want to accomplish, we have to learn from those losses and kind of take it with a grain of salt. But, yeah.
What kind of sticks out from that first matchup with Georgetown?
I mean, it was just a lot of us getting open shots. I felt like we didn't play as good as we wanted to on the offensive end, but I feel like us being able to shut down some of their key players like Primo Spears was a big thing for us, and being able to just not let them get any life or go on a big run throughout that game. So I feel like if we play well on the defensive end, we tend to shoot away better at home. So I feel like if we play good on the defensive end, it shouldn't be that much of a game.
Taylor mentioned before maybe how disconnected it got.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a sense of that, or what comes to mind when you think about connectivity defensively and what that looks like. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, we watched a lot of film on the last games. Felt like like Bailey said, we haven't been playing as much as a team defensively as we had been, but I feel like that's kind of what these next couple of days are for us to get back into that. But I feel like our defense in terms of being in the gaps and things like that, kind of helping people. I mean, because like a lot of people look at it as Eric Dixon had a big game, but I mean, it really wasn't Calk's fault. I feel like we had a lot of situations where we could have stunned Eric Dixon or we could have ran him off the line in terms of rotation and things like that. I mean, that's just what I seen from watching the film. But like I said, I think that our team defense has to get a lot better into this last day that we get to prepare for Georgetown. And then going into March, we have to have better team defense if we want to play at the level that we want to play at.
One more for Trey.
You mentioned Dixon, and we kind of talked to Baylor about it. Just how unusual that is for your guys' defense playing a player like that can stretch you out. And he didn't even shoot like that in the first game. I guess moving forward, how do you prepare for a guy that can, maybe bring Calk out there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like we just got to be able to rotate in terms of we know that Calk is the anchor of our defense. We know that we want him to stay in that painted area. So when somebody tries to bring him out there, I mean, number one, I feel like Calk can run him off the line and then we can just rotate from there. But I also feel like there are going to be some teams that have bigs that can shoot better than Dixon. I feel like we're going to have to be able to just be able to move and play with more effort and energy. I feel like we were kind of dead that game. I feel like not one time did we have a good just defensive rotation that entire game, and I feel like that's very rare for us because we usually tend to be able to help this guy and then get back to our own and things of that sort. So, I mean, just down the stretch, we just have to be able to know how to rotate in terms of that.